Actually, that was great. And I can maybe reinforce some of the things that Fiona added. Mary, this is amazing that you're doing this. And this is a big, really beneficial that we get people talking and understanding this because, it is still a relatively new idea for most people. Um, First, I'll talk about why. Why did we decide to go this route? Uh, Frankly, I was on a trip. We collaborate with a lot of other coffee people as well as people in other industries. I was in Costa Rica with a friend, Woody, who was at One Village Coffee in Philadelphia. They were, I believe, a founding B Corp. And we shared ideas. In fact, those guys came up here to look at some of our packaging and go to school on us a little bit and learn how to take their thing to the next level. And that's what this whole community is all about. And we weren't really a B Corp then, but we were really interested in this idea because this was a group of people that seemed to really share our value set. But we're also often smaller companies that did not have the either the personalities to brag a lot about their accomplishments or the bandwidth or marketing budgets to really talk about a lot of these things. So for me, talking to Woody made me really interested in it. But I was really starting to look at this at a time when we're hearing claims from so many companies about all the things they do, and it's really hard to make sense of it. And sometimes, knowing the coffee industry, these claims are very hard to even believe. And so we felt like, how do we know if we're really doing a good job when there's all this, the kind of job we aspire to do, when there's all this conversation out there about all these things people do? So we felt like this was a really great way to give ourselves a report card on our practices. Who are we as, we're not a corporation, but as corporate citizens, what kind of people are we? And I love the book, Mary, that you suggested. We read it here, and they talked about companies that were doing that Friedman kind of approach as sort of, if people behave that way, where they only did things that were in their own self-interest, we would call them sociopaths. And so we really see us as a group of people more than a company. And who are we? And are we doing as well as we think we are? It was very difficult to assess that. So I was introduced to it through a friend who was doing it. But my primary interest was trying to get a report card. Are we doing a great job? I will report, at the risk of bragging, that and I'll validate what Fiona said. If you've gone through the process of the audit that we do, where they're assessing the B impact assessment, you are really opening yourself up, and you have to prove every claim and quantify these things. And so we're very proud that our B impact assessment was 119.1, which at that time was placed us as, I believe, if not one of the top 2 or 3 coffee roasting businesses in the world in terms of our impact. That makes us very proud, and we hope that folks, if we're able to communicate that effectively at some point, that folks will be very proud of what we're trying to do here. And so the initial interest was to just find out, are we as good as we think we are? And we're very pleased to have gone through the process, which is, I would call it grueling, in fact, to get through this process and to find out at the end that we are doing a great job. Our team here, Carmen and I, my partner and my wife, and our team, we're working very hard towards the mission of our business. When I said like-minded people, it's interesting. We started roasting coffee in 1992 in Santa Cruz, California. And we moved here in 2003 with our 3 young daughters, one of whom is with me tonight, who were Maggie was 3 years old at that time. And we brought our mission statement from Santa Cruz with us, our coffee roasting business there. And our mission statement was a little Santa Cruz-y. It had a little bit of a hippie vibe or something. And it was to roast epic coffee in a manner that is kind to both the earth and the farmers that painstakingly grow it. That speaks to striving for excellence, but also considering our stakeholders. We didn't have any employees at that time. So, but we were thinking about it as our mission, and the purpose really of the company has always been oriented to this. So here we found our tribe, and we were very eager to do this. I'm going to talk a little bit about the challenges right now. Mary, I'm going to go through your list. The challenges, really the big challenge is the process. Going through the audit, which we're beginning right now again, they do this fairly regularly, is a real commitment. Companies that do this are you have to make a commitment, because it's a lot of work to provide the information to demonstrate that you're doing the things that you say you're doing. And frankly, some of the coolest things that I'm most proud of are not captured in our B that we've ever done, are not really captured in this. They're just some things that we do just because they're awesome and they're just for us. And so I think that I would say that this is a challenging and a daunting prospect. I just got done talking, I mentioned when I jumped on the call, to a small grilled cheese company in Portland because they want to talk to us about this. And I spent some hours with Bryce, and this is really cool because this is a small company. I'm saying, hey, the more people we get on the dance floor here, the more this becomes a really important movement. And at the same time, the more people are having these kinds of conversations, and consumers and businesses, small businesses alike, are aware of what's going on, this is going to make this, really make this happen. When we talk about, so the real challenge that we faced is going through the process. And Fiona and what UNH is doing, which I don't think that was available when we first started this, it took me years of stop and start to get through it, frankly. I just would start this process and it was daunting. So to have resources available like what Fiona's doing for small businesses in this region is such a valuable resource, and it will do so much for small businesses that want to take this step and join in this movement. I would say that in terms of what's important and valuable and benefits, do I still have a few minutes, Mary?
Just another minute or two, Bob.
Okay, benefits, I'll make it quick. I found that, which I didn't do it for this reason, and I don't think if you're doing this because you think it's going to add a lot to your sales because people are going to get it, at this point, that maybe someday that will be true, but I think we're still trying to help people learn about this. And so I don't see that as a huge thing. But in terms of accountability, decision-making through COVID, we are challenged, and small businesses are challenged. And it's been really helpful to remind ourselves of the promise we've made to consider our staff, our stakeholders, our producers. And I could give countless instances of where we have made decisions that were not based on the bottom line or our P&L, but that were based on kind of the impact on the people we care about. Back to our original mission statement from way back when, early 90s in Santa Cruz, California. We it was very easy to do the harder right than the easier wrong when we had such a good framework, and that we had made these, that we had committed to this vocally and joined this community. So so we have stayed, and I think we're a better company than when we started. We're doing more in many ways. We've invested in environmental things through this period and other things with our staff. And and that's been particularly hard. It's hard to do that for companies now. And this has helped us to do that by a level of accountability that I never really anticipated facing. But also decision making, we would have arrived at the same place, but it was very easy to make these decisions because of this commitment we've made. I would say that there are also probably the foremost part of the important or valuable parts of this have been that I think joining this group as an early adopter and as leaders in this movement, I believe that not only are we really connecting in many ways with other companies, we work with Allagash. We were doing a tour of Allagash with Rob, and man, we went there. He came to us to get ideas for his B Corp thing because they came in after us. And then we went there to look at their canning line. And I left there determined to go to a 4-day work week. And this is the kind of stuff that just participating in the community. We work with Revision and many of the other companies here in Maine and elsewhere. And we work with lots of companies that aren't B Corp. I don't think it's necessary to be a B Corp to be a great company. And our aspiration is not to be big, but to be great. And what I was saying before, we're very proud that we're one of the top 10 organic coffee companies in the nation. And at the same time, we are one of the top scoring B Corps in terms of our impact. That is very powerful to us, and it makes us less self-conscious about another benefit. It makes us less self-conscious about our growth because we feel awkward about it because we really didn't set out to do this kind of thing. But when we contextualize our growth and understanding that every bag of organic coffee and organic fair trade coffee, I should say, that we sell, there is positive impact on our community, on the communities that we work in, on the environment, and our staff members, the people that we care most about. We know that. And so now we're not as self-conscious about that. We're proud of it. And the same thing is happening at Bard Coffee in Portland, which is also our part of our family here, and where we can interact directly with people. And so being part of not only our local community, but a larger national community and the coffee community worldwide is very valuable. And it's helped us to sometimes get out of our own way and embrace the success we've had by being able to contextualize it in terms of impact. We always felt we wanted to not be a big company, but a great company. But we're sort of finding that those two can be harmonious in many ways. And this allows us to see that.